Well, earlier this season, we did a great video on tomatoes. King of the garden. Everybody wants tomatoes in the springtime.
Even non-gardeners grow tomatoes.
Exactly. So now that we're getting later in the season and the heat's starting to hit us, the tomato production is definitely dwindling. We need to start thinking about preparing for our fall harvest. And I think people don't realize that you actually plant tomatoes twice a year.
Here we do. We know our summer times are just a little too brutal for them, and they won't set fruit even if they do set blooms. And so what we'll normally do is with our determinate tomatoes, we can take cuttings before we take them out for the summer and get those cuttings started for our fall planting. And with our indeterminates, we can actually keep those going for quite a while by taking new cuttings and refreshing the plant.
You know, and I love that idea because you'll get a tomato that you absolutely love. You've lost the tag. You have no idea which one it is to replicate it again. But if you've got it in your garden, you can just keep it going.
Yeah, why not grow that tomato? And people wonder about, taking cuttings from determinants because we know that they're basically programmed to grow to a certain height, produce all of their tomatoes in a short window of time, and then be through. But taking a cutting from a determinant rejuvenates that same tissue. And so it will grow and produce a second crop in the fall.
So for all of those that want to can their own sauces and salsas, they got another shot at it.
They do,
awesome.
For sure.
Okay, so you brought with you today for us to see how we go about this. Where we cut it, how we cut it, and how to plant it to be successful.
Yes, and there are really two places that we can take cuttings.
All right.
One is actually in what we would call, people refer to it as the armpit, but it's really the leaf axil where the suckers grow. And a lot of people, especially on indeterminate, will sucker their plants. They remove them on a regular basis. But they'll keep producing them up the plant. Those are very vigorous and really ready to grow. So while we don't necessarily want them to stay on our plant and take away from the energy that we want to producing tomatoes, they do make a really good cutting for us to start anew. So all you need to do is just break it, clip it, or pinch it out of that axle, and then that one's ready to go. So we can take it from there. Then we can also take tip cuttings.
That's a beautiful cutting.
Yeah, these pencil-sized cuttings, where we have this about the size of a pencil, they do really well. And see, here's one of those little suckers starting, and so that when they get large enough, we'll pinch those out, and that can be used. So this size cutting, and what we want to do is we want to sort of take a look, and we want to make sure that we remove any blooms that are here, because we want this cutting to make energy into setting new roots, so we don't want it trying to ripen tomatoes. So we want to pinch all of that out. But unlike things like roses or other herbaceous plants where we would also pinch the tip out to start a cutting, we don't want to do that with our tomatoes because that's our growth tip. So the other thing we want to do is judge from the size of our container how deep we want to plant it, and we don't want any of these leaves to be touching the soil. So these will come out both sides. Then we'll take a look, and really I like the idea that I can fill this pot and get at least these two nodes and quite a bit of the stem, because we know that tomatoes have adventitious cells here that will produce roots even if it's not at one of the nodes. So we'll take that and we'll grab our soil here. Hands are our best tool ever. And we want to kind of, I call it fill to the top and then tamp, so that we get exactly the right type of texture in our pot. And what we want to do is tamp, but not press it down too hard. We don't want any air pockets in there, but we also don't want this packed too hard. It's kind of hard to pack abrogate soil too hard. It's really good. Then we want to make a hole in the middle. My finger will work. You can use a pencil or a dibble if that works for you as well. And then we'll take our cutting that we've kind of prepared, and we don't need rooting hormone. We just want to set it as deep as possible, keeping it off the bottom of the pot. And then we want to make sure that we don't just tighten it up at the top, because we want to make sure that soil is in contact all the way down the stem. And sometimes if you press it here, you'll have an open area at the bottom. So I'm going to put my fingers in here from east and west and north and south and pull towards the stem so that I get that really good soil contact all the way through. And then we have about an inch of space here where we can water it in.
Right.
We'd want to water it in with a stimulant or something that also reduces the plant shock.
Right.
And so our Super Thrive is good for that.
Okay.
Then we want to make sure that the soil ball is thoroughly moist. And if you do know the variety, go ahead and tag it.
Right.
It's going to take a few weeks to root in, but not
Okay.
as long as you think. They are very...
So do we, I'm assuming that we would keep this outdoors.
Yes.
Don't try to grow it indoors.
No,
but
not
keep it in a
indoors.
shady location,
Yeah,
bright
definitely.
light.
What we call bright indirect light.
Okay.
So it could be under a patio as long as it had that reflected light from the outside. Same thing under the edge of a tree, especially on the eastern side where we get a little bit of that. But we don't want them in direct sun right away.
And we don't want to let it get too dry.
Don't want to let it get dry at all.
Right.
So you don't necessarily, we don't want to necessarily mist tomato plants.
Right.
But we do want to make sure that the soil is kept moist at all times. They will root very, very quickly. You'll see signs of rooting several ways. A gentle tug can work. You look for roots at the drain hole. That works as well. And then also new growth is an indicator that you have roots and that it's got enough energy to start off on its own.
Okay.
And then after it does start growing, it's a good idea to start feeding on a pretty regular basis. So the first feeding we would want to keep liquid. Something like liquid seaweed works very, very well for that.
Okay.
And basically my first feeding is always half strength.
Right.
Then after that I start working up to full strength feedings. And really with liquid seaweed, you can feed with every watering.
Okay,
if you wish.
at half strength.
At half strength.
Sure.
And then that just kind of gives it that little bit all the time. Then just before you're ready to start putting it out in the fall garden, you can add about a teaspoon of the Arbor Gate food. And then at planting time, we definitely want to make sure that our soil is prepared with Arbor Gate food. If you need to refresh your soil, refresh that soil with the Arbor Gate Complete, and then you're pretty much ready to go. Once it's in the garden, we want to keep it boosted and strong and producing for the fall.
Right.
So we want to use a combination of liquid seaweed and EM. That's our probiotic for plants.
Right. This stuff
and there's
is amazing.
a huge amount of evidence in the last couple of years that this is eliminating tomato blights.
That's wonderful.
And so it is wonderful. It keeps them healthy and green. It just keeps them resistant to a lot of other issues that they can have. And so just a regular every week or 10 days with tomatoes and peppers, they love that. And generally for the rest of your garden, about every 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, how simple is this?
It's very simple, and you basically have perpetual tomatoes.
I love that. Thanks, Angela.